people, show you got heart. Now we're playing the game and we're totally scoring, learning how to make a virtual a business boring, showing up every morning, ready for the show. I'ma get ready. Cold engaging virtual meetings 2.0.
Good morning to those who are on the West Coast. If you are watching this beautiful, amazing, engaging virtual meetings podcast episode on virtual, hey, hit the subscribe button, share, like, or comment. You comment during the show, we're probably going to give you a shout out. And if you want all the episodes of the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast, over 80 podcasts right now, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online and subscribe on one of the 13 beautiful platforms you can get your podcast on. Hey, if you really want more engagement in your life, last week of October, October 28th through 30th this year, come to the Engaging Conference. You can go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/CON, or you can scan this QR code. You can even get a free virtual ticket to come hang out with us and learn more about how to be even more engaging. Now, speaking of being engaging, our guest today, she's a program and project manager. She's managed a project for the Cardiac Structural Hart Legacy Medical Product. That's right. She's an avid sower and hiker and now paddleboarder. Please, let's welcome Marie Sparks' friend, Kris Everett. There we go. Hi, Kris. How you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic here in Seattle. Let's see, what weather are we going to have today? I believe it's going to be 45 and rainy this weekend. But otherwise, I'm doing fantastic. We just actually had, Kris, you're not going to believe this. We had a speaker showcase where we showcased 14 speakers last Saturday, and it was an amazing, fantastic event.
You know, that's interesting because we just had a PM Expo yesterday, and I got to hear 6 different speakers in that.
Oh my gosh. Right. What's something you took away from that expo?
It basically was talking a little bit like that Facebook lady. I think her name's Sharon Sanderberg, something like that. But
Yep.
it's basically the lean in concept.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sheryl
So
Sandberg.
Yep, Sheryl Sandberg, that's it. So it's the lean in concept. And it was talking about lean into AI, use AI where you can, and but also understand it's not going to quite be perfect. There's going to be a learning opportunity.
Yeah, AI is good about 80% of the way. And then if you humanize it, that's the best use currently of AI. Although there are some things that are getting much, much better. Now, you are a member of PMI, or was it Project Management Institute? Did I get it right? I think that's PMI.
You got it right. Yes.
Presented multiple times. So for my friends who don't know you yet, Kris, why don't you take a moment to introduce who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I am a program or project manager. I have specialized in consulting and doing finance and compliance projects. So, you mentioned the transcatheter heart valve. That was a compliance project, 100%. And it was interesting because I've learned that computer geeks and scientists are very similar. They're very often introverts. So here you are being an extrovert to try and compensate.
I'm definitely kind of a unicorn in the tech world, right? Because I spent over a decade at Microsoft, and so that's really one of the keys. And to find the gift, though, I said I was never going to be the smartest person in the room like at Microsoft. There were a lot of smart people there, but I was the one engineer who could talk and write. I was the one engineer who could talk and write, Kris.
Well,
So.
you were certainly a unicorn then.
So what's the coolest project that you feel like you've worked on in the past?
They all are interesting and rewarding in many ways. I feel like probably transcatheter heart valve was certainly one. Another, though, would probably be Agilent Technologies, where I rolled out ERP across 65 countries. So I was
ERP?
working. Yeah, ERP. So it's the Oracle ERP platform.
Oh,
And I got to focus on the finance side for that one and compliance again. So in what they call quote to cash. So
hmm, I like that.
I know it sounds, yeah, it
Sounds
sounds great.
exciting. How did you get into program management?
I ended up, I guess, falling into it by default. I probably, like yourself, grew up on the business side of the company, but I was also an IT type person that could actually talk and hold a conversation and explain issues. So I ended up being a project manager because I ended up becoming the SME, the spokesperson for the group, and really able to bridging that communication gap.
Yeah, I'm going to help decode. Like, some of our friends don't have the secret decoder ring to the PMI or project management world. SME, SME, subject matter expert. Right? Did I get that one right?
You did. Very good.
Yes, we end up training a lot of SME, subject matter expert speakers, because their knowledge is gold, but they have to learn how to present that information to their audience, and some of them, like, that's not their skill, right? That's not their skill set. So
Right.
yeah. So what do you love about the project management world?
I love the fact that I can use my organizational skills. I love that there's no 100% magic formula for every project. There's always some adaptability happening,
Hmm.
and it's variety, but it's rewarding. From the standpoint of you're helping make somebody's day better or easier because you're giving them um, something that makes the everything more operationally efficient. So
Hmm.
making people's lives easier and so they can focus on the right things is important to me.
Genius. And so, I mean, I was a program manager at Microsoft, right? And it was kind of like the role was described as the people who who tell all the tech teams what code to write. Plus, there's aspects of project management because we were always attempting to hit a deadline. And at Microsoft, that was not one of their top skill sets. They often miss that deadline because software is a complicated type of thing around that. Now, I really want to hear. No, first off, Kris, how many of your meetings now, like percentage wise, or at least in the past, are virtual versus in person?
Oh goodness, that's almost all of them are virtual. Maybe 5% are in person these
Wow.
days because you
Yeah.
you fly out to a client maybe 1 week out of a quarter,
Hmm.
and so in person becomes even more critical.
So, what has to happen for you, Kris, to have like a really effective virtual project meeting?
It all starts with the agenda and understanding the topic.
Yes.
So just the agenda is probably the very first step to get it across.
And do you develop those agendas or does somebody else develop those agendas?
I usually work with my team to develop the agenda. I can say though, for kickoffs, I
Yeah.
am probably more prevalent on developing that deck, but because you're answering those great questions of who, what, when, why. And we do tailor it to clients so that it meets their culture and they know what's going to encourage their people to get on board with doing a project.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit of both, but certainly it's all a team effort to develop that agenda and then to get it in front of the right people and the right players in the room.
So, what's one of the ways that you make either a kickoff meeting or one of these project manager meetings engaging, right? So, a lot of project manager meetings I've seen in the past from other people, they just talk through the whole meeting, right? So, which is so it can be useful because you got to distribute information. But I'm curious, are there things that you found that were best practices over the last 5 years during these meetings?
For me, I like to add a little sense of humor to things. I will put in little I guess, icons that are meaningful,
Okay.
just to give a visual aid to it as well.
Yep.
Bullet points so that people understand exactly what you're looking at. But I've learned something over time, and that is to make your key phrases, the 2 or 3 takeaways on each slide, in bold,
Oh,
in
in bold.
bold and a
Yeah.
different color. And it's so funny because it's captivating when it's in a different color.
That's a good tip. One of our friends is a Hall of Famer speaker, Brian Walters, is now teaching something called sticky learning. Sticky learning is like those phrases, a way to, like again, if you're training or you want people to remember part of a project, then he says, try and figure out how to make it sticky. And one of them was like, there were 3 values: transform, like inspire, and the G was something green maybe, and so they called it TIG, right? And so TIG was the acronym, and it became a verb. Hey, let's TIG this. Now, this project's really cool, but now we need to TIG it, right? So they had to think about is it transformational, right? Is it green? So all these other types of things, and so that was his version of how to make like a 1 or 2 or 3 word thing sticky. So. Let's talk about, Kris, the pandemic. At least were you on virtual before the pandemic hit, March of 2020?
I was fortunate enough to be virtual for about 3 years before that.
And what platform were you on in those 3 years in 2017?
Well, I started out with Zoom,
Yeah,
and then during COVID, the companies tended to switch to Teams.
right.
So it's a little bit of both.
So talk to me now too, Kris. March of 2020, go back and tell me what happened in Kris Everett's life on March of 2020.
I got laid off from a San Francisco company.
That's
And
common, right?
I was awaiting, we were awaiting a contract to be signed in late February. It did not get signed. So the project got parked. I was all set to go to St. Louis every week.
I'm going to
And it
St.
did
Louis in
happen.
June. Yeah.
It did happen. So I got a great phone call from a recruiter who just out of the blue reached out to me. And I went, well, I don't know this person, but let's find out more about what they're talking. And next thing you knew, I had signed on to start Medtronic, a medical device. Um,
Wow. Medtronic, big company, right?
yeah, it's a good company. It's very big in obviously the cardiac side of the world and health. So it saves lives.
Hmm, amazing. So you're saying that you picked up work relatively quickly after being laid off in the pandemic, is that right?
Yep. Yep.
And again, what did you do those interviews virtually?
Typically the interview starts out by phone,
Yeah,
and then they switch as you are advancing through the process. It switches to virtual.
right, right, right. Do you have any best interviewing tips? Like if you went through all those interviews, is there things that you consciously tried to do that would help you help your interview?
Well, you're seeing one of them. Can you see?
What's that? Oh, can you see? Like what? Can I? What? Turning your camera on? Which
Yeah,
one?
no. The eyeglasses is something that actually makes you look more intelligent.
Oh, yeah. I actually have a friend who wears glasses that are not prescription. They're clear lens. Have you seen this? The television show Bull.
Yes.
So that's about Dr. Phil. The television show I think said that Dr. Phil wore glasses as a trial psychologist mainly because it made him look smarter, not that it was helping his vision any. Interesting.
There you go. So it became sort of a hallmark, right? I mean, I just got used to wearing the glasses on my head to hold the hair back to help me feel comfortable, and now they're there.
Got it. Okay. What's the most engaging meeting or speaker you've seen on virtual or hybrid in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, I mean, I really like Tony Robbins. I like Simon Sinek
Simon Sinek, correct. Yes.
and Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson did a number of virtuals. I think some for AARP actually. That were you saw him speak though, and you really like what he had to say, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
I also like the fact he's from Michigan State.
now, did you graduate Michigan State? Is that right?
I did. I graduated Michigan State. Yes.
Well, cool. Congratulations. Oh, wait, now what's your mascot? What's the Michigan State mascot?
Spartans.
Oh, yeah, the Spartans, of course. All right, so let's move along and then. So you've been on virtual for quite a while, Kris, so, and you're still participating in virtual 95% of the day. What's either a wish or what do you think is going to happen in virtual and hybrid?
I think a wish would be that more people would turn the camera on.
Amen.
Because
Why?
it's the body language, right? You can see whether they're interested. You can see if you're losing your audience, if you've captured your audience. You can see, if they're following the conversation. You just don't want to have those glassy-eyed looks. I need to know.
Yes, yeah, we advocate for cameras on too. It's funny. There was a big aerospace company since you work for a lot of these big medicals, and they said people were getting virtual fatigue, and they read the report and it said that the video was the thing that was causing it, so they mandated video off, right, for their entire company. And it's like baby in bathwater. They just threw it all out. You have all this beautiful, amazing technology, right? You and I can see each other even though we're 1,000 miles away. And the company operated that way for 5 years. Can you imagine the amount of lost productivity?
I was going to say, how did they even follow a document? They must still have shared the documentation at least that they were walking through.
Yeah, but
But you,
still,
you, you
yeah.
can't see if they're out walking the dog or if and following the conversation or if they're making a sandwich in the kitchen. I mean, really. But you need to know that they're at least still there with you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. And yeah, okay. So more people turn on the camera. Anything else, right? What you do have like a width? I'm talking like 10 years out. Hopefully, like I feel like the Jetsons, like we should be able to teleport or something like that. What do you think is going to happen later on with virtual and
Well,
hybrid?
maybe we'll end up with some holograms or something, huh?
Have you seen the holograms yet that are available now?
On a very limited basis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So here, I'll have one for you. Go look up Proto, Proto, and Howie Mandel has invested in the company. And what you do is that you take any 4K camera, such as your phone, and shoot your like present like this, but it will take your image out and create a three-dimensional representation of yourself in a box that they developed. So you can put the box on the stage, and the box has a camera on the top, so you can see into the audience, Kris. Right? So
Oh
you can
no, that
see.
would be cool.
It's expensive still, but it's really cool. And apparently, there's one in Seattle right now. We're trying to figure out how to get a demo of it for our speakers because one of the facts they said is that many of the top speakers who are using it were able to retain 100% of their fees instead of discounting for virtual.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. Hmm. Well, let's do this. We're gonna go, Kris. We're gonna go into the speed round, right? This is a favorite part now of
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions that I wrote during this interview, right? So I had no idea I was gonna ask them, and you have to answer them as fast as possible. And I'm gonna play some witty sound samples like this. Okay. Are you okay with this, Kris? And are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be for this one. There's no preparation, so
That's right. Okay. What's your favorite piece of cloth or item to sew?
Leggings,
Ooh,
workout leggings,
leggings. Yeah, what favorite color to sew?
blue.
Oh, wait, that's my girlfriend's favorite color. Okay, favorite hike?
Um, that is a good one. I'm going to go with Matt Davis Loop.
Ooh, where's that one at? I don't know that
That
one.
is out here at Stinson Beach.
I know Stinson
And
Beach.
Stinson Beach, and it's got a part of it that's through the woods
Hmm.
on twisty, windy roads. Another part is in the open California golden fields, right? And then you come down this steep ravine back in the woods, and it opens up to the ocean.
Wow. Oh, we better go on this hike because I'm going to be in the Bay Area at least once this year. Okay.
All right, can you handle 8 miles?
She was talking about it early in the pre-show. She was talking about this and thought, what mountain did you think this was?
Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah, Pikes Peak in Denver. And no, this is Mount Rainier, 14,410 feet, and I was there on the top. I think I can handle it.
Well, you didn't hike it though. That's the issue. So
Oh no,
yeah.
I climbed that one. No, this is
Okay.
glacier, crampons, ice axe, roped up travel, Kris.
All right. Then that's good to hear.
I did that. Okay. Where do you like to paddleboard at?
I like to paddleboard a little place called Petaluma River.
Oh, Petaluma. We like Petaluma. What's a skill that you don't use at work? A skill you have that you don't use at work?
Gardening.
Gardening. Ooh, I like. That's a good one. What's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, ham and cheese.
Ham and- There we go. I took a picture of that. Okay. What do you love about your kitchen?
I love the fact it's blue.
It's what?
It's blue.
Oh my gosh, sounds like your favorite color, right? There you go. Blue is your favorite color, yes?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, your favorite piece of technology?
Oh, phone?
Hmm. Which phone? And are you iPhone or Team Android?
I am Team Android.
Oh, okay. Favorite app on your phone?
Oh, um, I think I'm going to say MyFitnessPal.
Oh, I've used that in the past. I'm not using it now, but yes, I've used that in the past. Okay. And here's the fun one, Kris, right? If you could magically get somebody to remember one thing from this interview, what would it be?
Um, that I have energy and I am available to do a project for them.
So that's right. Oh, you're currently searching, right? You are between gigs. Is that correct?
That's right. I am between gigs and looking for that next opportunity.
Well, Kris's link, her LinkedIn link, is in the description for any of these videos, or you can look her up in Kris Everett, PMI, and find her on LinkedIn. So if those who are listening are job job, what are those? Oh, headhunters, right? Those people, contact Kris. And you're located in the Bay Area, right?
I am about 40 miles north of San Francisco. I've worked all the way up to Santa Rosa and all the way down to San Francisco. So I have a wide range of opportunity there.
Outstanding. Well, Kris, thank you so much for being here on the Engaging Virtual Meeting podcast. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and I hope that I hear that somebody reached out to you because of this beautiful, amazing podcast. Thank you, Kris.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Bye, John.
So Kris Everett, we've just been interviewing Kris Everett here, and she says, turn on your camera. All right. I can definitely advocate for that. Hey, if you're watching this podcast, subscribe, share, like, and comment. We hit over 1,000 downloads in our podcast, and we're very close to 2,000. Help us out, help a brother out, and hit the download, because you can go to this podcast here, right, engagingvirtualmeetings.online, and get all the podcasts. Plus, a new episode drops every Wednesday for that. So make sure and subscribe. Again, if you want to learn how to be more engaging in your life, in your business, in your events, and whatever you do, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/CON, get a free ticket or consider the paid ticket and come here live in Seattle and see how the magic happens October 28, 29, 30. And if you want to be like Kris, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet and select interview, and you too could be the next guest here on Engaging Virtual Meetings Podcast. I will see you next time.
Always start people and keep old people. Show you got heart.